What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into this video. I really just had something on my mind that I wanted to go ahead and get out, and hopefully something that I say resonates with you. And if it does, please feel free to drop a like and hit subscribe to my channel. So I just left my training session, and I'm only in this training session because I'm taking extreme action towards the things that I want. And I'm not taking no for an answer anymore. I'm not taking defeat as the solution, and I've burned all the boats. And from this position, I'd really like to take a moment to just be in the now and speak from this position, so that if you're thinking about taking this type of leap, you know what to expect. You get what I'm saying? So before I crossed the point of no return, where I said, fuck it, I'm going all in, and there's nothing that is going to stop me anymore. And if I fail, I fail. If I die, I die. But I bet you I'm going to succeed. Before I got to this point, there was a lot that I was dealing with. Most notably, I was in a situation within my workplace where I personally believed that I was under vicious attacks of essentially witchcraft. And when I say witchcraft, I don't mean some old lady in a black hat riding around on broomsticks. No, I'm talking about real intents to intimidate, manipulate, and dominate your mental state, to put you in a state where you're creating a world that is not in alignment with your best version of you. Now, if you understand that thought is creative, then you understand that anyone who's trying to push you into a lower vibration, or a group of people that are trying to push you into a lower vibration, that is essentially witchcraft. So this is what I was dealing with. I was in the middle of a spiritual war, and this war came on the tail end of me for years thinking and contemplating and adding fuel, adding emotion to this vision that I had, but not necessarily understanding all of the steps that it would require of me to actually move forward with that vision, right? So I end up in this position where I'm essentially thrown to the wolves, and I have to find a way to not only show love to these people as they're actively trying to destroy me, as they're actively doing things to cause me to feel like I am less than, and I haven't done anything wrong to these people. I've simply walked into this place with the authority that I have, knowing that I am an emanation of God just as they are. And because I am the spark, and because I walked in that authority, it made them all feel uncomfortable. Even though I wasn't saying I am God above you, I am God that created you. No, that's not what I was saying, and that's never what I'm saying. I made it clear to them who they were, but they weren't necessarily ready for it, even though they completely understood what I was saying. For them, it was, okay, because this person believes that they can do something with their life, let's go ahead and beat him down a bit, and then maybe he'll be willing to stay here and remain in a low frequency. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the plan that Source had for me. So regardless of all of the things that they tried to do to break me, I understood that this was the final muddy road that I had to cross before I could get to this point where I can sit down and not feel any type of way about recording and really putting myself out there to try to help somebody. I understand now that it's more of a risk for me to solely rely on trying to connect with people and trying to share this message just in the 3D reality that I have to operate in on a day-to-day basis, rather than allowing myself to be put on tape and just putting it out there so that whoever needs my message can find them. And Source, I leave it to Source to just allow whatever needs to happen. So whoever needs to see this, whoever needs to encounter my energy, whoever needs the spark can find it, instead of me just impressing on other people the spark. Now, I say that, and I that doesn't mean that in my day-to-day I've stopped being the spark and I've stopped telling people who they are or sharing guidance. Just up to today, I had an older gentleman in my training session who's talking about, the lack of opportunities around my city and around different parts of the world. And, his experiences have shown him this over a longer period of life than I have been around. So while I'm respecting that he's got 20 years on me, at the same time, I'm telling him about the creative process. And I'm not telling him, hey, well, you are God, so create an opportunity. I told him it to him on a grounded level in a way that we all understand, because we all have heard about The Secret. We all have heard about Law of Attraction. So when I talk about these things in a broad sense, it doesn't necessarily offend people the same way that it can if I tell them that, hey, the I am presence that created everything lives inside of you, and you are that, not this personality. So I'm telling him, like, it's really funny, I understand that it may present itself to you, or you may have seen things that make it appear as if there's no opportunity, but all of the technology that is around truly makes it so that there's more opportunity than ever before. And I told him the only difference is that your awareness of a lack of opportunities will create scenarios for you in which a lack of opportunity has to present itself. And he just sat and he was with that for a moment. And that was the end of that portion of the conversation, until he started talking about how certain systems are in place to make sure that pennies are coming out of people. And at that point, I just left it, because I had already sown the seed, and it's not my job to completely to tell him that he's not supposed to vibrate wherever he is. I trust the I am presence inside of him to guide him. And I trust that the message that I gave to him will find its root, and the fruit will grow from that. And I know that he'll be successful. Why? Because I'm imagining for him. I don't need anything from him to imagine for him. I don't need anything from anyone to imagine for them. So when he tells me what his vision is, and he sees a lack of opportunity, I have no resistance to his dream. I have no envy about his dream. So I can easily take on that perspective of, okay, I am the I am presence inside of him. What is my life like? And based off of what he told me, I'll go through and I'll play out a vision where I'm living that as him, because I understand how these things work. And now that may seem simple to you. It may seem silly to you. It may seem like I did something that is worthless to you. I don't ever have to tell him that I'm imagining for him, or any of the other people in my training classes that I'm imagining for them. When I'm driving on the side of the road and I see somebody who's asking for money, and if I have it, I give it to them, and I'm imagining that I'm giving them larger than what it is that I'm giving them, or I see them, instead of just holding up a sign, I see them in a suit handing out business cards. I don't have to tell anyone that I'm doing that, because it's not about me getting some type of praise or some type of accolades for it. And even me sharing this in this video, right? I'm coming out of a point where there aren't a lot of people watching my video. I'm just putting this stuff out there. I'm not telling you this so that you can think highly of me. I'm telling you this so that you can do what I'm doing, because this is what we need more of. We need more of people who are willing to check their thoughts, so that they're not necessarily, when you hear something about somebody, your envy or your lack of knowledge about who you are and what you're capable of doesn't cause you to think poorly about them, or to immediately go to oh no, they're defeated, they're not going to get that thing that they're wanting, that's not going to happen. Instead of simply imagining prosperity, simply imagining happiness, that's the bare minimum. Can you do that for somebody else? Even if you can't necessarily do it for yourself, even if what you're imagining for them is greater than the life that you are currently living in, can you still do it? Understanding that there may be resistance for you that's built up over time from your experiences, but when you're imagining it for somebody else, there's not that resistance. And because we are one, and you are helping them, those waves that you send out, it comes back to you. Now, you're not necessarily doing it for that. You're simply doing it because you understand we're all filters for all of these emotions. We all have been through tons of stuff. We all have felt worthless. We all have felt our dreams slipping away. We all have felt like victims of time. So if our experiences are different, but these emotions are all the same, can you just imagine? Can you? Listen, I hope something that I said resonated with you. I only make these videos because I really just want to help people. I really, really, really just want to help people. And this is the way that Source is laying on my heart to do that. So if you've recently encountered a situation where the normal route to go would be to think thoughts of hate or thoughts that are contrary to someone's best good, but instead you thought good for them, please drop the story in the comments. I want to hear that I'm not the only person who is, and I don't do it all the time, but I'm gradually getting better. So I want to know I'm not the only one. I want to know that I'm not the only person out here who has been destroyed so many times and is still just wanting and expressing the love inside of me for other people. I love you. I want to see the fullest expression of you. This is a spark.